If my camera die, I'm gonna be tight. So boom, it's your boy Jay, and today I'm doing a story time, you feel me? And this is gonna be a story about the first time I ever got arrested. Now, look, I know. I got arrested. What you got arrested for? Look, it wasn't my fault. Well, nah, it wasn't my fault. But I don't want to put complete blame on the person I was with too. You feel me? Because it's not how we rockin'. But he did do some dumb shit, so let's get right into the story. Hey, this was probably like a couple years ago. This is what I do like. I was like, how old is I? I think I was like 13 or just, no, I was like 13 or just around like 5 years ago. 5-6 years ago, this happened. So I was 13 and I was at my dad's house because my mom and dad don't live together. So I was by my dad's house. Now my mom lives in Brooklyn, right? And my dad lives in Queens. And a couple of my friends, we all live on the same floor. Well, we all used to. Everybody moved, but we all used to live on the same floor. And one of my close friends, well, was my close friend. I don't talk to him no more, but we gonna call him A because I don't want to use his real name. So A was real good friends with me. You feel me? That was like my best friend at the time. A was like, you know what? Can I come to your dad's house with you? You feel me? We could have fun type shit. You know, I got games over there. Play games, chill, hang out, type shit. Sleep over at my dad's crib because that's what we always used to do at my house. I used to always have sleepovers and shit. So I'm like, alright, let me ask my pops, you feel me? Ask my dad, yo, can A come over? My dad was like, yeah, I don't see no problem with it. Just make sure his parents is okay with it. A asked his parents, you got to go. Alright, boom. Mind you, this is the first time I ever had a friend come with me to my dad's house. Cause it's always just me at my dad's house. This is the first time I ever had a friend come with me. The only person that ever slept at my dad's house with me, pause, is my cousin, right? So this is my first friend that had come sleep at my dad's crib with me. So we out to my dad's house, you feel me? Me and A, we're on our way to my dad's house, right? And then tell me how we get there. Everything's cool, you feel me? My dad has work the next day. So it was just, I always was staying in the crib by myself from a young age. Like I was just, you feel me? My parents always trusted me and they always was at work. So they always just like, yo, you gotta stay by yourself for a little bit. But they always left food, always left money, always left stuff just in case. And they was never gone for it was gone for long, but not too long, you feel me? Like I could have handled it. So we there by ourselves. The next day, we chilling, playing, da-da-da. Now, alright, so this is where the story starts, you feel me? So there's a Pathmark right across the street from my dad's house, or my dad's old house. So there's a Pathmark right across the street from it. And I used to always go to the Pathmark and play with the toys because they always had like toys outside of the Pathmark, you feel me? Like, you know how some like Walmart, they be having like the little balls around Walmart and shit. You know, you just pick it up, bounce it around, dribbling and shit like that, you feel me? Regular kid shit. And then they had like toys outside of it was always like kids taking the toys out, you feel me, playing with it and just throwing it around. So I was always in Pathmark in the toy section. So when I was always home by myself, by my dad's house, I would always go to Pathmark just to play, you feel me, and then go back home. That was it. Always used to do that. Now when A was with me, A came with me, we was playing with the toys, and then we left Pathmark. We went home, went back to the house, and now we was playing freaking whatchamacallit. We was playing the Wii and shit like that, sitting down. Then A turned to me like, yo bro, let's go back to Pathmark. So I'm like, nigga, we just came from Pathmark. But you know me, I'm young, I'm like, you know, fuck it. This Wii shit getting boring. So let's just go back to Pathmark, you feel me? I was so dumb. I should have known what it was what was going. I didn't know because A not that type of nigga, bro. So I guess we were just young, so you feel me, stuff happened. But I knew A's not a bad kid, but I guess stuff happens. We walked back to Pathmark. But before we even got out the house, I seen A put on a book bag, right? A never walk around with a book bag. Who ever walks around with a book bag? And mind you, he had nothing in that book bag. It's not like he had shit in there. He had nothing in that book bag. But me at that time, I wasn't even thinking like, oh, A was gonna do some dumb shit. I was just walking across the street, go to Pathmark. A guy's book bag, and he was like, I'm walking straight to the toy aisle because that's what I'm thinking we here for. I guess A had other plans. So then I walk to the toy aisle. A like, yo, I'm gonna be back. Just wait for me at the toy aisle, you feel me? Me and A is at the same age, by the way. Same age. A went, somewhere else. I went to the toy aisle. So I'm out here playing with the ball. I'm dribbling the ball, you feel me? On my basketball shit. Whoop, whoop, dribbling it. And then I was looking at, whatchamacallit. When I was like 13, around 12, this is when Technics was still kind of hot. If y'all know what Technics is, it's like the little skateboards for your fingers and shit. That's what Technics was still kind of hot. It was dying down, but it was, matter of fact, not really. It wasn't hot, but like they was trying to make a little comeback. So it come back, nigga ran. I see them running, and you know when you run and do that little slide like against the aisle, like you feel me? Ain't doing one of those shit. Looking at me like, yo, bro, we gotta go. So I'm like, you gotta go. But I'm looking at him like, what's good with this? Like, I'm like, what's wrong with him? Why you moving so fidgety? So he grabbed my hand like, yo, we out. You feel me? So I'm like, alright, we out. At this point, when he said that, I'm there thinking he's just trying to leave. But at the same time, the thought ran through my head, I think A took some shit, bro. I looked at him, and I didn't want to ask him yet, you feel me? Because we still in Pathmark, and Pathmark was big. That Pathmark across the street from my dad's old house, that shit was huge. So we was all the way in the back. We had to walk through mad stuff to get out. So I'm not gonna ask him right now because I don't want to make the situation hot. You feel me? So let me just wait. So we walking. I'm thinking we about to get free. As soon as we get to the fucking front to leave, the niggas is like, some lady come in. Some big, old, chubby lady walk in. Like this, you feel me? Her big ass shoulders. Shorty had no neck. All that. Like she was like,
I've seen you guys on the camera.
First thing that came to my head, you guys. I'm like, I looked at her like, what? Bitch, you ain't see me play with all the toys? I ain't do nothing. And then I'm thinking like, what did she see? But this is all in my head. I ain't say nothing. I'm just like, low key, I got a little shook. I'm like, whoa. I looked at his book bag. His book bag ain't look so flat from when we left the crib, son. It wasn't flat no more. So then I'm looking, I'm like, oh, please. I put my head down like, God, hey, I hope you ain't take nothing, bro. I'm just thinking to myself. I look at him, and the crazy thing is, I know people's first reaction is like, why we didn't run. I thought if we ran, that would make us look suspicious. And I felt like I felt like staying, because if we stayed, she would just like look at us and be like, all right, they didn't do nothing, so they could just go, because kids will run. Usually kids would run if they do some bad shit, but I felt like if we stayed, it would show that we didn't do anything, so she would just let us go. So I'm there thinking, so A's out here stuttering and shit, so I'm like, you know, let me do the talking, miss. I don't know. I said, this is exactly what I said. I don't know what you're talking about, but we haven't done anything. We was playing with the toys. And she was like, no, I seen him on the camera. And then she's about to talk. She's about to say, I seen him on the camera, and then as soon as she said, and this nigga A gonna be like, yeah, hold on, my camera's about to die. Anyway, so A was like, yeah, I took one of y'all merchandises. One, nigga, why would you admit to it? Two, what the fuck did this nigga take? Like, what did A take? Now I'm like, all right, you already fucked up, you done admitted it, so what did you take, bro? Take his bag off. Mind you, he opened the bag, and he take out White Castle burgers, like a big ass box of White Castle burgers. Why would you take that? There's food at the house. Two, out of everything in here, out of all these toys, stuff that we could actually enjoy, you still White Castle burgers? So I'm just staring at him, and then I'm like, all right, you know what? He took it out the bag and he gave it to her. So I'm thinking she's gonna let us go. Like, that's it. That's all he took. He gave it to her. She's like, come with me. So I look at A look at me, and we just like, come with me? I'm like, yo. So I'm there thinking, he tapped me and said, yo, let's run. This is where I fucked up. When he said, yo, let's run, I should have been like, nigga, we out. I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? If we run, we're gonna look suspicious. And I was thinking, because my dad lives right across the street from the supermarket, he always goes there, you feel me? I'm gonna have to go back with him eventually. So I'm like, or I was thinking about them printing our faces up and putting it on the window, talking about my camera died. So let's hurry up and finish the story. To eventually come back to his Pathmark. Imagine they like remember my face and be like, oh, you that kid that was with the boy that stole something, and then my dad hear it, and then I'll get in trouble. So I felt like I was gonna get in trouble eventually. So I felt like running wasn't the best option, right? But me, younger, I didn't see the signs. Right now, I would have booked it. G shit, if I could tell my young self, I would have been like, yo, run, nigga. So we went to the little office, you feel me? And as soon as we get into the office, we just sat down. There's 2 chairs there, her chair. We sat down. You see all the cameras. It's like 20 monitors showing everything. So she was really sitting there watching the cameras. I didn't really know they did that in supermarkets, and feel me. I didn't really think that they be really sitting there watching the cameras, but she was really watching them shits. So we sitting there, and she's like, she has the White Castle box right there in her hand on the table, just holding it like this, you feel me? And she's like, so you came in here to steal White Castle burgers? And she asked the boy, A, why would you do that? And A was just like, he didn't really have no like real reason why he did it. He just did it because I guess he wanted White Castle burgers. His explanation was, I don't know why I did it. I just did it. You feel me? That was his explanation. Mind you, we are 13, 12 years old, so she didn't really ask that much questions, but she did tell us, we're gonna have to call the cops. I'm like, what? Shit. Knees got weak, legs shaking, arms shaking, heart beating. I'm like, the cops. Niggas about to go to jail. I was like, niggas is about to go to jail. It's about to be over for me, man. Oh, man. Niggas is really about to put me in jail for some White Castle burgers. And then, as soon as she said that, he started crying. This man, full on tears, like, he started losing it. He gets up from the chair, and he's just crying, walking around the office. And she's like, calm down, sit down. I had to do it. It's a part of my job. Then she said this. Now, look, don't come at me. When she said this, I wasn't thinking properly, you feel me? I just was like, I didn't get the hint when she told me. But she did say, if y'all run right now, I am not going to chase after you, okay? That was a hint of saying, guys, just run, get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna forget about it. I got the White Castle burgers, I got it. So you could just run. But when she said that to me, I still didn't get up and ran out the office. I still was thinking, you can't run. Let's just sit here, suck it up, and take our punishment. Because we really innocent. And I thought I was innocent, so because I wasn't the one who committed the crime. So I thought that she would have let me go at least, and then we could have got my friend out eventually at the end of the day. But no, that wasn't the case. So she did call the cops. And they actually came. And as soon as they came, that's when I got nervous. But I didn't cry, though. I was just real nervous. I was just shaking. I was really quiet. I was shaking in my seat like, damn, I'm really about to go to jail. And they're talking to us. The cops are talking to us. But then as soon as they came in, my friend started bugging. He was like, no! Screaming and shit. So they're trying to calm him down. And they're like, you know what? Let's take him to the precinct. I'm like, fuck, nigga, y'all about to take me to the precinct just for some damn White Castle burgers? Y'all got the box. Y'all got the box. Why are you still taking me to jail, dog? Anyway, so they like, let's put the handcuffs on him. As soon as he said that nigga got up and he started punching the wall. Like, he's going crazy. I looked at him and I got up and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm about to run now. So then the door was open, but there was a big ass cop in the way. I put my arms like this and I try to run, push past him. Obviously, that was not going to work. When I was like 13, I was probably like 4'11". My son stopped me, and he put me in the handcuffs. So I'm tight in the handcuffs. I had this hat on. He took my hat off so everybody could see us walking to the cop car. And they embarrassed us, too, because when we was walking to the cop car, they was like, look at these kids. They want to steal. And everybody in the parking lot seen us and all that. So I'm walking to the cop car, all sad and shit. We go inside the cop car. A is bawling his eyes out. Niggas just crying. And I'm just sitting there like, damn. I'm thinking, boy, my dad, I was scared of my dad mostly when I was younger. Not my mom, because my mom never really, she wasn't really like, she was real soft-spoken. She really still is soft-spoken. I mean, she would yell at you kind of, but she would never put her hands on you. My dad, he would be trying to give niggas whoopings and shit. So I was just like, damn, son. Once my dad found out, I'm gonna get my ass beat. Call my dad. And they didn't even tell him. They made me tell him. They made me call him and tell him what happened. So I was just like, Dad, I'm in a precinct right now. He's like, what? You in a precinct? What are you talking about? What did you do? Da, 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 da. He just started going off. And then after he said that, they took the phone from me and they was like, yeah, we got your son in the precinct. He stole some White Castle burgers. I'm in the handcuffs still because when you get into the precinct, they still put you in the handcuffs and they handcuff you to like this pole so you can't really get up and move. So I'm handcuffed to the pole and I'm like, Dad, I ain't steal, because they got him on speaker. I'm like, I ain't do it. You feel me? I ain't snitch on A or whatever. When the cops came in and was asking us questions, I ain't snitch. They was just like, They was talking to us. None of us said anything. We was just real quiet. So they was like, who took it? Nobody said nothing. But the lady was like, oh, A did it. She didn't say his name because she didn't know his name. But she pointed to A out. She was like, he did. I seen him on the camera. And then they tried to say I was an accomplice, even though I didn't know what was going on. So that's why they didn't let me go. And plus he was my friend. And yeah, all of that. So I'm handcuffed. I'm like, Dad, I didn't do it. So my dad's like, who did it? I didn't want to snitch, so I just shut up and was just like, didn't talk. I stopped talking. So then the cop lady was like, your son wasn't necessarily the boy that actually took the item, but his friend did it, and we think he's an accomplice. They thought that I was looking out for him, but trying to play around, like play as if I was just playing with the toys and didn't do nothing. I don't know why. It makes sense now, but why would I do that? If I was looking out, wouldn't I be like, you feel me, knowing where he at? Looking around, I wasn't doing none of that. I was really on the camera. They showed us the footage, and I was just playing while this nigga was stuffing shit in his bag. And then I see my dad walking through that door, bro, and he seen me handcuffed. His face just turned straight fierce. He was just tight. He just looked at me. When he looked at me, I was just like, damn, son, this nigga about to bust my ass in this precinct. He came, he picked me up. He couldn't take out A because A is not his kid. You feel me? And then the police precinct, they don't release the kid to you unless you're the parent. So A had to call his mom now. And A had to tell his mom to come pick him up. So that was that. We had to leave A at the precinct until his mom came and got him. So we had to leave him. We had no choice. So I was like, yo, I see you when I see you. You feel me? We left A, and as soon as we got outside, my dad whooped my ass, man. And then we got into the dollar van, and he out here conversing, telling everybody in the damn dollar van how I got locked up. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I ain't even do shit, man. This nigga just telling everybody. He just talking to everybody. Every person he seen on the street that don't know. He don't even know these people talking about, yeah, I had to go pick this boy up from the precinct out there shoplifting. Home later that night, everybody in my mom in the house like, oh, you out here shoplifting at your father's house, da 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 da. She was yelling. I heard it from both sides, da 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 da. And then the crazy thing to end the whole story, later that week, I seen A come outside my building because remember we all live on the same floor. His old house is right next to my door. So I seen him later that week, and I look at him and he looked at me. He came and gave me that. We got each other, and he was like, oh, by the way, my mom said I can't chill with you no more. And I was just like, I was young, so I understood. Like I had a good understanding. So I was like, oh, she probably don't understand because she think we probably gonna do something bad together. But at the same time in my head, I was like, but I ain't do anything, so I don't know why would she say that. But okay. And that same day, later on, when I went back home, like I came back into the building, I was coming up the elevator. His mom got into the elevator, and I seen his mom, and she was like, oh, A told me what you did and how you forced him to do it. Nigga, what? I forced him? Nigga, I don't give a fuck about no White Castle burgers. I don't even like White Castle burgers in the first place. I was like, I just looked at him, and mind you, I still didn't want to snitch on him because A is my boy, you feel me? So I was just like, shook my head at him, and I was like, miss, I don't know what you're talking about. Then I walked out the elevator, came back into my house, you feel me? And me and A didn't get to talk to each other for like a calm 2 months. But then I seen his mom a couple months later, and then she was like, you guys should chill again, you feel me? Because he seems bored in the house, and y'all was really good friends. Just don't get into trouble like that anymore. And then me and A started hanging out with each other. Then we grew up, you feel me? He went on, he done moved, you feel me? A moved out the building. I stayed here, and that was it. That's the end of the story. But that's the first time I ever got locked up. I wanted to comment down below if y'all ever got arrested before for any little petty things, even if it wasn't your fault. Have you ever got arrested? I've been chased by cops plenty of times for doing other dumb shit. Cause I used to like climb in, and I guess you could say trespassing and shit like that too. Cause I used to climb into people's backyards and just run around. I just was real adventurous as a kid. But we could get into that in another story time. But comment down below if y'all want more story times. It's the end of the video. It's your boy Jay. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and join the gang. It's your boy Jay, and I'm out.